No way! No! What? Are you kidding me? Bro, on the final lap, he lost it! No! No way! Bro, what just happened? He had it! He was one turn! I'm in disbelief right now. I'm in shock. I'm in absolute shock. Oh my God. I don't even know what to... Oh my God. That is unbelievable. Hey, welcome to... What? I'm sorry, I'm in... What just happened? What just happened? I'm losing my voice. I need water. I'm in shock. I don't even know what to say right now. What just happened? Unbelievable. What a way to cap off what I think was probably the most exciting Pocono race in years. What? I'm supposed to be saying words right now and talking about the race, but I don't know what to say. That really just happened. I mean, hey, it's true what they say. It is not over till it's over. I was getting ready to send out a tweet saying, "Oh, Larson, 4 in a row, one of 9 drivers in NASCAR's modern era to do that." I had the whole thing ready, and then out of nowhere, he cuts a tire on the final lap, on the final turn. Wow. That's actually nuts. I mean, guys, I'm gonna show the notes that I usually take to cover a race to determine what happens. I don't know if y'all can read that, but right there, I put Larson wins. I don't know if you can see that well, but I put Larson wins when he took the final lap because I assume, okay, yeah, Larson's gonna win. 4 in a row, like I said, gonna join one of 9 drivers to do that in NASCAR's modern era. And then that happens. That's insane. I mean, like I said though, at the beginning, earlier on, this was the best, in my opinion, the best Pocono race in years. So, from start to finish, it was just exciting. We saw a lot of side-by-side battles, new contenders in the mix, and to cap it off, one hell of a finish that no one saw coming. I mean, very early on, you could tell right away, I said this in the pre-race show at the beginning, more than likely the drivers that are going to be able to contend, or at least to challenge Larson for the win, would be Byron, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin. And that was the case really, mainly Kyle Busch and William Byron, Denny Hamlin a bit later on, but still, it was mainly those 3 drivers with Larson, those were the drivers to beat. Aside from Larson, who was the main guy to beat. And Kyle Busch, especially this time around, unlike what happened at Nashville, he was a contender for the entire race. It wasn't like last weekend at Nashville where he was dominating in stage 1, or at least put up a fight to Larson in stage 1, and then fell off. The entire time, William Byron and Kyle Busch, they were right with Larson to really till the final until the final half of stage 3. But yeah, I'm just going to show the results for stage 1. Kyle Busch won. Stage 2, Kurt Busch won due to pit strategy. That's another part of this race that was so exciting to watch. The amount of strategy, tires, and fuel. You had some drivers like Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch later on, in order to get an advantage on the competition and to get out ahead of the field. Late in the race, they would take fuel only, to just get that little bit of track position, because with this aero package, track position is so key. You could have worn tires, or at least more worn tires compared to someone else that just got fresh tires, and still be able to hold them off for quite some time. Now, we are going to really talk about everything that happened in stage 3. Stage 1 was, the front runners. They were up there leading the entire thing. Kyle Busch won. Stage 2, we saw the front runners of Larson, Byron, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin, and even a little bit of Kevin Harvick in the middle of the pack for majority of the stage, having some really fun battles mid-pack that even had some bit of hair-raising moments. Everything would get settled out and they'll be back out in front. But it was really when stage 3 when things really got heated. So stage 3 began with help from the choose cone. It was Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson. They would battle back and forth for a little bit before Larson would get out ahead. And that was kind of shocking because the entire race, Larson, he was the guy to beat, but it wasn't like he was mortal, if that makes sense. He was the guy to beat for sure, but you could tell, okay, he can be challenged. Under the right situations, you can go up there and you can battle him. Kurt Busch was a perfect example. Kurt Busch, who clearly did not have the better car, was pulling moves on Larson, was able to get underneath, was able to retake the lead even at one point. He showed that, hey, you can go up there and you can beat Larson. Now, yes, Larson was a better driver, but it wasn't like last weekend at Nashville or the other races where it seemed as though no one could even touch Larson. This time, like I said, Larson, even though he was the guy to beat, it seemed as though that not only one driver, but multiple drivers could get up there, challenge him, and potentially beat him. But yeah, after Larson got around Kurt Busch, he opened up to about a 2-second lead when the final round of pit stops took place on lap 41 of that final stage. So that was around maybe 16 or 17 laps to go. During this time, we saw drivers like Kevin Harvick, who pitted from the 6th position, play a bit of fuel strategy, take fuel only to get out ahead of Larson. Although it did not work, that was a tactic that Kyle Busch would later use when he would go on pit road. It took 4 seconds of gas and actually got out ahead of Larson this time. And Kyle Busch, even on worn tires, even though his tires weren't as worn, compared to Larson, I think there was just 7 or 8 laps between when Busch pitted compared to when Larson pitted. But still, even then, Busch, because of this aero package and because of the type of track that Pocono is, if you get out ahead of that driver, it's nearly impossible to pass him with all that dirty air. And there were times when Larson, clearly had the better car, would get underneath Kyle Busch, would try to force the issue, and Busch was able to just hold his ground by taking away his line. Then the caution came out for debris with 26 laps to go, and that is when everything changed. So when we restarted with 20 to go, because of the choose cone rule, Larson elected to stay behind Kyle Busch and take the outside lane. So he was in the second row on the outside. On the inside lane was Hendrick drivers. On the inside lane was Ryan Blaney on the inside of the second row, and Alex Bowman, the first driver on the inside road. He would restart in second. Now, Bowman he was on the inside lane. He was able to go out and get ahead of Kyle Busch and take the lead off of turn number 1. Larson, after a bit of battles, he was able to get ahead of Kyle Busch and would later on go and challenge Alex Bowman. Now, Bowman, he pitted 1 lap later than Larson, but he only took 2 tires. Larson had 4 fresh ones. Bowman only had 2. But even with that, and even with Larson clearly having the faster car, Bowman, at the time, did an incredible job holding off Larson. Again, part in credit due to the aero package and track position and all that. If we were in the high horsepower, low downforce, Larson would have gone by Bowman within 3 or 4 laps. But in this package, it took Larson nearly 13 laps or so to get by Bowman. Finally, with I think 4 or 5 laps to go, Bowman on the inside lane in turn number 1, both of them loses the front of their race machines, but Larson's able to get the drive off the corner, cut down underneath Bowman. They get side by side, and Larson takes the lead in the tunnel turn. And as you can tell at the beginning of the video, I was getting ready to say, hey, Larson, 4 in a row. I was getting ready to do a video. And then the unthinkable happened. On the final lap, on the final turn, Kyle Larson cuts a left front tire, slams the wall, ends up finishing 9th, while Alex Bowman goes on by to win his 3rd race of the season. I mean, let's take a look at the results right now. So Alex Bowman, he wins after he really didn't have the best car. He was around, he was around the top 10. He had an average running position of 11.053. So he wasn't the best car, but he certainly wasn't the worst. He just had a solid day. But clearly nowhere near a race contender, at least we all thought. But that call, to get out ahead, using that But the call to get out ahead by using the choose cone rule, using that to your advantage for him to get out in front, use that clean air, use that track position to force Larson. I think that is the reason why Larson cut that tire down, because Bowman kept on taking away Larson's line and forcing Larson to use his front end a lot more than normal, putting heat on those tires, making him wear out a lot more than normal. I think, but because of that, by the time Larson got by Alex Bowman, his tires were this close from coming apart, and it did on that final lap, on the final turn. So you have to give the driver of the day to Alex Bowman, because he put an incredible drive. He clearly didn't have the best car. Larson was miles better than him, but for him the job that he did, for him to able to hold off Larson, force Larson to use up his stuff, and then was able to capitalize on Larson's misfortune. That is one whale of a drive from not only Alex Bowman, but from the entire 48 team for being able to put him in that position. Yeah, once again, the streak for HMS continues. I believe this is five or six in a row. I think Hendrick Motorsports has gone in victory lane in the Cup Series. I mean, the domination continues. I said Larson would win this race. I was this close from being right. But yeah, let's take a look at the results. So Alex Bowman wins. Kyle Busch in second. Very, very great run for him. Third is William Byron. Fourth, Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney, a very quiet top 5 finish for him. Sixth is Kurt Busch. Seventh, Joe Logano. Kevin Harvick in 8th. Larson, even with the flat tire, somehow comes around to finish inside the top 10 in 9th. And Brad Keselowski somehow manages the top 10 after he was really outside the top 15 for majority of this race. And then you got Tyler Reddick in 7th, Chase Elliott in 12th. I mean, he had contact very early in the race, actually in the beginning of the race. Since he got that DQ at Nashville, he had to start at the back and had massive damage to the left rear of his car due to a stack up. And at a track like Pocono, that is a very aero-sensitive spot, and they had just been battling an uphill run all race long. So for him to finish in 12th, it's like, you get what you get, you know. 13, Daniel Suarez. Bubba Wallace in 14th. I believe that's his first or second top 15 finish of the year. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 15th. Almirola 16th. Bell 17th. Truex, another horrible run for him in 18th spot. They were not in the top 10, I think, at all that entire race long. Michael McDowell in 19th. And Chris Buescher rounds out the top 20. Then you got Austin Dillon 21st. Jones 22nd. Priest 23rd. Chase Briscoe 24th, and some other notables here. Matt DiBenedetto 32nd. Ross Chastain in 33rd. He had, I thought, a pretty good car. Again, wasn't the best car, but he had a really solid car. But fortunately, got up a bit too high in the tunnel turn in the mid part, I think around stage number 2, and smacked the wall and spun, and he went to the garage. That ended his day. Ryan Newman by himself spun in turn number 1 and backed it to the outside wall. That's why he finished in 37th. And Cole Custer in stage number 1, he just got punted by Brad Keselowski. Keselowski tried to get underneath Cole Custer so that he wouldn't halt his momentum on the front stretch, but completely misjudged it and sent Custer right into the fence on the outside wall, and that ended Custer's day in what continues a very frustrating season for the 41 team. And also another notable drivers, Anthony Alfredo finished 26th and Corey LaJoie, who finished 36th. They had an incident themselves coming off of turn number 3. LaJoie washed up the racetrack, collected Anthony Alfredo, and both of them went into the outside wall to bring out a caution. So that's why they're positioned the way they are. So I'm sorry it's not the traditional race review where I go over chronological order of everything that took place, because I really just want to focus on the ending, because my God, I'm still in shock about that finish. But it was overall a really good race. Like I said, strategy from start to finish, different contenders, new leaders in the mix. You had Kurt Busch showing speed and Alex Bowman also showing speed late in the run. But we knew it was going... And Alex Bowman, clearly, late in the run of that race. They all showed speed, new contenders, really great battles. For a package like this at a track like Pocono, I was expecting a snooze fest, but there was a lot of good battles, especially mid-pack. And once again, another whale of a job performance by NBC. They broadcasted this race, in my opinion, very well, especially, you know, with them talking about Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson and the battle they had, and Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson, the battle that they had. Hal Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, and really the entire NBC crew broadcasted that race. Just showed they made that finish a lot better than normal. And I think had it been on Fox, it would not have been that good of a finish, or at least it wouldn't have been as exciting. So again, Great job by NBC. Now, of course, you can't say the downside of this situation was the fact that with this aero package, you don't have to be the best driver out in front. You can just take away their line and hold them up. Clearly, we knew that Larson had faster car than Bowman, but because of this package, you know, it seemed as though at first we were going to get a repeat of what took place last year between Harvick and Hamlin, where I believe in the first Pocono race, Hamlin clearly had the faster car, but just could not get ahead of Harvick because Harvick had that clean air. But this one was different because Larson really put up a fight with Bowman, and they were, you know, swapping lines, taking each other's lines. They were, you know, trying to draft each other down the front stretch, going below nearly to the pit wall. It was really fun to watch. If you have the time tonight, go ahead and watch it because it was one of the best Pocono races in a long time. Remember, for a double header, the top 20 gets inverted. So if you finish 20th in this race, you're going to start first tomorrow. And that pole position goes to Chris Buescher and Michael McDowell, not front row drivers, but Ford drivers. They will start on the front row. Murray Jr. and Christopher Bell in second. Almirola Stenhouse third. And Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez 7th and 8th. And yeah, like I said, you'll get the whole starting lineup on the left side of your screen. And yeah, I don't know what else to say really, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's race. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but I am really looking forward to tomorrow's race. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as this. I hope I'm wrong, but man, what a race this was from start to finish. It is 7, 8. I mean, I don't know what rating I would give this, but I do know this was the best Pocono race in years. So, congratulations to Alex Bowman. He's now a 3-time winner. It's kind of funny. All 3 races that Alex Bowman has won, he clearly did not have the fastest car. Richmond, out of nowhere on a late restart, takes the lead from Denny Hamlin to win. Dover, Larson had the best car. Bowman got out in front due to the final pit stop where he got out ahead of Larson off of pit road. And now today, capitalizing on Larson's misfortune, him cutting a tire and slamming the wall, Bowman going on to win. But what are your thoughts on this race? I would love to know. I thought this was a really, really good race despite my expectations being nearly on the ground. I love this race, so I want to hear what y'all think of this race as well. Congratulations to Alex Bowman, your winner of the first of the 2 Pocono race doubleheaders. And yeah, I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. Until next time, my name is Jett from MDK, and I'll see y'all next time.